Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Hakuouki Zuisoroku, the fan disc material for the first game, or the extras added into the PS3 version of the Stories of the Shinsengumi. We're working our way through Harada's extras, doing Harada Memories of Love 1 today. Let's see what his scenario is here. June 1864. Approximately 6 months have passed, and there's still no word of the protagonist's father. The constant threat of death has made her depressed, so Harada decides to take her outside of the compound. Is he allowed to, or are we doing a ninja thing again, which never works out?
Besides, it seems like a waste. Not every day you run across a girl with balls like this one.
He laid his hand on his sword and laughed. I didn't think he'd been entirely sure I was a woman, but clearly he'd been confident enough to make a guess. Was he testing me somehow to see if I'd react? How was I supposed to pass? Everything about him seemed a little bit amused and aloof. That's what makes him so attractive. But there was something there that scared me, too. The fact that he's a stone-cold killer. I mean, not stone-cold. And that's what makes him attractive, too, is that, he's dangerous, but he has a heart. June 1864. I had been with the Shinsengumi about 6 months. At first, the rest of the soldiers eyed me with suspicion and distaste, but it was starting to seem like they'd grown used to my presence at Shinsengumi headquarters and the fact that I was always around, even if I wasn't training with them. I was still under house arrest, but I was fed and I wasn't mistreated. They certainly could have treated me a good deal worse, but at the time I wasn't in a position to appreciate that very much. We were only together through circumstance. Beyond that, they had no reason to worry about my health. The possibility of help in search for my father was enough for them to let me stay, but so far his whereabouts were as mysterious as they had been when I first arrived in Kyoto. What would happen to me if the Shinsengumi gave up the search? I had a terrible feeling they wouldn't just let me leave. After all, I'd seen their horrible secret. If I gave them trouble or got in their way, I had no doubt that they'd kill me in the blink of an eye. Or at least, Soji has made you think so? So I spent my time hidden away in my room, all too aware of death breathing down my neck. Until one night, someone took me outside. Sanosuke! Memories of Love, Part 1. June 1864. I sat in the corner of my room, watching the setting sun and sighed. Even after months of waiting, I still hadn't been given permission to leave the compound, so all I'd see of Kyoto was what sat opposite the front door. What was my father up to, I wondered? The only thing I knew for certain was that he'd come to Kyoto for work. Unfortunately, I couldn't even go out to look for him. I'd heard the soldiers saying that some of the other ronin in the city were up to something, although they didn't know what. For the time being, all I could do was hope that my father was safe. As I watched, a bird fluttered down to land in the yard. Before I realized what I was doing, I stood up and walked toward it.
Chizuru.
What, I can't even go play with a bird? Oh, Okita.
Going somewhere?
Just to play with a bird in the courtyard? Is there a problem with that?
Well, I seem to recall you were ordered not to leave your room without permission.
Sorry, I felt myself wither under his glare and scrambled to apologize. He was unmoved.
If you don't do what you're told, they'll be surprised if you end up with a sword in your back. You haven't forgotten why we're letting you stay here, have you?
His tone was light and conversational, but his words were anything but. No.
I gotta say, Kondo and Hijikata are being pretty generous. After what you saw, you ought to be dead. But instead, they're not just giving you a place to sleep, they're feeding you too.
I guess you disagree with them, huh? He shrugged and headed off down the hallway. It wasn't nice to hear, but he was right. I hadn't been able to help them at all. What, haven't I been cooking and stuff at this point? There were chores I took care of from time to time, but that was hardly very important. Well, it lightens the load for everybody else, that should help. But despite the fact that I'd been nothing but an imposition, the Shinsengumi was taking care of me, even while the inability to look for my father made me utterly useless. And they could kill me anytime they wanted to. I needed to go to sleep, but I couldn't manage to keep my eyes closed. What Okita had said to me kept echoing around in my head. How many more nights would I have to spend locked away from the world, unable to do anything? How much longer would they tolerate me? Would I go to sleep one night and never wake up? As I stared into the flickering flame of my bedroom lantern, I felt myself descending deeper and deeper into despair.
Hey, Chizuru. How long are you planning on staying up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get to bed right now. What are you doing checking on me? I scrambled to extinguish my lantern, but...
No. I wasn't trying to scold you. Can I come in?
Sure, of course. I'd love to have the company of a pretty guy like you. The door slid softly open, and Harada stepped inside.
You were up pretty late. Something on your mind?
I was just hoping a virile, strapping young man like yourself might come visit me this late. No, I was just about to go to sleep. I couldn't tell him what had happened that afternoon, so I did my best to avoid it. Unfortunately, I must not have been very convincing, since Harada just looked into my eyes for a moment, and then gave a bitter smile.
You look pretty down. Sure something bad didn't happen?
No, not really.
Well, I guess it's probably tough for a girl to live in a house full of guys, huh?
Well, no, I actually think it's kind of nice, except for the fact that they're always thinking about killing me.
I'm not saying I can fix your problems or anything, but if you need to talk, I'm always happy to lend an ear. So, come on. Tell me what happened.
He sounded so kind and earnest, I felt my heart begin to falter. No, I couldn't let my guard down. If I said the wrong thing, he might kill me on the spot. Oh, come on, he is like the sweetest, most earnest guy in this whole place. Harada stared me down silently for several long moments. Then he seemed to make up his mind, nodded, and began to speak.
Alright, we're going out. Right now. Get ready.
What? Out? You mean out of this room? But I can't.
Come on, don't you want to get some fresh air? Let's go.
He strode out of the room, and I didn't feel like I had any choice but to follow him. Well, he is a captain. And, our life is kind of in their hands, so we can take orders from any of them, right? At first I thought it had to be some manner of joke, but as we left the compound, Harada showed no sign of stopping. Are you sure this is okay?
Yeah, I don't see why it's any different than walking around in the compound, do you?
Well, it's kind of against orders.
I mean, if you try and make a break for it, I can just kill you.
Yeah, there's always that. What could I possibly say to that? I say, thank you. Thank you for reminding me of that. I see. Thanks. He almost stumbled and turned to look at me, eyes wide. First time you've ever been thanked for threatening to kill someone?
Whoa, hold on a minute. I'm not following. I tell you I'll kill you at the drop of a hat, and your response is to thank me?
Well, if we get caught, you're probably going to get in trouble too, right? But you still decided to bring me out here anyway, and that's what I'm thanking you for. Were you worried about me? He blinked in surprise, and I saw him swallow.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but... Man, it's kind of scary to have someone just see through you like that. Here, I thought you were just some wet-behind-the-ears kid. Won't make that mistake again.
His face bent to a crooked smile. Such a cute one, too. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pry.
Whoa, hold on there. I was just trying to compliment you. You know, in a couple years, you're going to be a pretty impressive lady.
I'm not yet? He grinned as he spoke, but the way he said lady made me blush. I tried desperately to find something to look at other than his face. Come on, just look at the face. We kept walking for a bit, strolling around outside the compound. Ah, fresh air.
Anyway, we got pretty lucky. No moon, see? Otherwise, we might have gotten caught, you know?
He looked up at the empty sky, and then turned back toward me.
You came a long way to get to Kyoto, so I'd like to show you some of the really famous places, but... I gotta admit, I don't want to get caught out here either, so do you mind if we call it a night for now?
Sure. I nodded and looked up at the sky. You know, it's pretty much a miracle just getting to do this much. I'd looked at the stars before from inside the compound, but they looked different somehow. Bigger, more spacious. The sky was so vast, nothing could ever confine it. For a long moment I felt free. We were heading back toward the entrance when...
Sano, were you out?
Oh no! We've been discovered! Although I don't think Saito is the tattletale type. I ducked back into the shadows as I heard his voice. There is no way you're ninja-ing your way out of not being noticed by Saito. Out of all people. Harada casually moved to hide me. Foolish, foolish people.
Yeah, I went out for a little fresh air. Just getting back from your rounds? Yes, we have received word of strange behavior among the Ronin. Action is likely imminent. It's not safe for you to be out alone. In the future, you would be wise to bring company.
He did have company. With that said, Saito turned and walked off. As far as I could tell, he hadn't been able to see me behind Harada. I'm pretty sure he knew.
Phew, that was a close one. You can never be too careful, huh? Anyway, let's hurry it up before someone else spots us.
Okay. Did we make it? We managed to sneak back to my room without anyone else noticing.
Sorry for just kind of grabbing you and hauling you out.
Oh no, thank you for thinking of me. You were doing me a favor. He didn't respond, just looked out toward the porch.
They call Hijikata a demon, and boy do I know he can look scary. But the truth is, there's a lot more to him than that.
Yep, we know.
He sees a lot more than he lets on, and everything he does after careful consideration, whatever else it might look like. What I'm getting at is that if he's keeping you around, then he has a good reason for it.
When he turned and looked into my eyes, his expression was flat and cold.
But if you step out of line, I don't have any doubt that you'll find out just why everyone's scared of him. Not just Hijikata either. That goes for all the men here, including me. My spear is always ready.
Look, I don't need any more threats. I get them enough. I get it, guys. I get it. I won't forget.
Just make sure you don't forget that.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to keep you up too late, so I'll just be heading off.
Good night. He turned with a nod and strode out of my room.
My spear is always ready.
He was certainly scary, but he'd taken me outside, something that could have gotten both of us in trouble, just to cheer me up. When he encountered Saito, he'd made sure I wasn't spotted. He spends a lot of time saying frightening things, but I think under all that, he's a good person. That was the last thought that passed through my mind as I crawled into my bed and fell asleep. Yup, he was definitely way more involved right from the beginning. Okay, so next episode we'll be doing Shinsengumi Adventures 2, choosing Harada options in that section. Then we'll get back on to his other little short scenarios. So hope to see you there for that, or in some of my other videos, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye everybody.